Welcome back, everyone, to another one take. And this time, we got a bit of a special one. Vermont, easily one of the best tier 10 battleships. It's been buffed a little too much, I think. I've talked about this previously. 12.6 kilometer concealment with 457 millimeter guns. This means we overmatch 30 millimeters of armor, which most cruisers have. And, well, 12 very accurate guns that overmatch you is not fun to fight as a cruiser, especially when that battleship happens to have similar concealment to you. The other special thing, I guess, I should mention about Vermont, if you didn't know, it actually has the Massachusetts, the Ohio style of repair part, where you get it back a little bit quicker. So that's something that you should be kind of looking out for to make use of. This ship can play a little bit more aggressive, although it's not the fastest. Notice we're only going 26 knots, and that's even with Brisk. Brisk is a great skill because it works when you're undetected. And since this ship has a 40-second reload, our detection resets after shooting after 20 seconds. So half the time, we're getting value out of Brisk, and that assumes we're shooting on cooldown. That's a really, really good skill, especially given this extra concealment now that we have. So Vermont's kind of insane, although I don't really enjoy the 40-second reload, if I'm honest. The extra damage output that you get from 12 guns is super duper nice. But honestly, the reload can feel kind of bad if you miss or if dispersion trolls you, because it still can here. That was a bit of a snapshot. Notice how, well, the island obviously got in the way. We couldn't quite lead that one how I wanted to. But still, 5,000 damage from one hit feels pretty okay. And yeah, other than that, we'll look at the build after this game. I think it's pretty much just a standard tank build other than Brisk. It's really the only thing I'm taking. Now, looking at their team, they don't really have a lot here. So I'm going to play very, very aggressive. This is something you want to keep an eye out for. Notice, you know, having the team lineups here is pretty useful, but you can even see on the map, right? Just look at how much of their team is spotted or has been spotted in the south. And the Lufthansa is down here, which means the Jutland might be up here. We still haven't been spotted yet, though, so I'm not too concerned about the Jutland. We'll take that shot, even though he went dark for a second. Let's see, did I lead it enough? Oh, that poor hipper. That's not a fair Citadel, in my opinion. But he took a Citadel, so yeah, poor guy. That's kind of the unfortunate thing about Overmatch for a cruiser. And that even looked like we hit him on his belt armor, so that must have gone through some wonky angle into Turtleback or something. I really, really do want to do Citadel huge damage when somebody's broadside, but if they're angled like that, and I get a Citadel, I don't know why it feels bad to me. It shouldn't. I should be happy that I got a Citadel at least, but it feels a little unfair. Especially considering that poor guy doesn't even have a heal. At range, we can obviously see the lack of shell velocity, so you notice I'm not even taking the extra upgrade to range. Wow. Alright, we're doing 15k to a GK at that range. Feels pretty good. But no range. I'm taking Turret Traverse is an upgrade slot, because I don't think I have it on my Captain. I do have Expert Loader, because the American Special Commander Expert Loader is just insanely good. There's no reason really not to take it. There's, well, we got a good torpedo belt, which is what we're going to use here. Oh, we're so lucky. We're so lucky. But yeah, good torpedo belt. You don't really want to be eating a ton of torps still, but yeah, another 11k from just our front guns. Feels pretty good. Let's see. Can we take the Mogami out with our back guns yet? Oh, just short. So you can get used to the shell velocity, certainly. Something like the Smart Horizon, any dynamic crosshair really is going to help you a ton when it comes to leading these targets at longer ranges. Very, very handy to have. Notice we're not spotted here, so I'm not too concerned about... do I go for a Duncan broadside? I think I do. He's so fast. So it's going to be a little bit tough, but Duncan, of course, has a gigantic citadel. So a little bit, maybe a little greedy shot. I should maybe be trying to take out a Mogami or something like that. Ah, too bad. I don't really want to push past this, though, is the thing. Not yet. Given that there's a Summers and a Jutland, especially the Summers with his torps, can be a little bit spooky. I don't have a decent crossfire with this other Vermont, although it looks like he's going to go down. Wow, 139. I should probably try and help finish him off. I meant to shoot all my guns there, actually. I forgot that I was turning. Our turning radius is awesome. The acceleration buff was really, really nice to this ship, of course. The reason I'm just so hesitant to push... looks like we missed. The reason I'm so hesitant to push is that their team is just clumped here. If I push out into open water, I could easily die. Not hard to overcommit to things as a Battleship player. Even though we do have our faster heal in that. Let's see, is somebody gonna get him? I'll try there. See what that does. I'm also cutting back towards B. I don't want to push the enemy spawn. This is something that I really should talk about more in a lot of these videos, is overall, pushing the enemy spawn is not as useful as pushing back towards the middle capture zone. There are some times that it's worth it, where you can get some good cross shots on people and, you know, it's okay. But overall, I think holding on, protecting the objective, that kind of thing, is going to be much, much more valuable. Because this game is certainly not over yet, right? The enemy team still has a very decent shot into this game. We're going to need to do a lot of damage to their DDs here. Unfortunately, that Jutland did not get lit or stay spotted, so it's going to be a little tough here. Very likely that our submarine is going to get overrun here. Although, I don't know. We'll see. I'll shoot. Ohio superstructure can be hit. I'm always trying to re-angle again once I shoot, though. And 6K is not too good. But yeah, angling is always a good thing. Duncan, I don't think he should be doing a ton of damage there. Yeah. So this is what I was a little worried about, the Jutland pushing in. And I'm a little bit too slow to get to where I want to go. I kind of want to be up here somewhere. I think that'd be a good spot for me. So I'm a little bit slow, but maybe our Hipper can do some good work to these DDs while I'm kind of getting into position here. Perhaps that's just wishful thinking. I'm even going to swap to Expert Loader. It's really nice to have. It's such a good skill. The upgraded one, or the updated version, I really do like a lot, actually. So, we're loaded. HE, what are we going to do? At close range, it certainly can be very, very good. A little concerned about Torps. Not close enough to spot him, which is quite bad. Yeah, this is not looking good. Not looking good at all. Okay, we're on fire. I'm going to use my heal early because I know I'll get full value out of it, or most of the value out of it. Here comes a Kaga. Probably use some defensive fire here, just a little bit. There's the Torps, like we were kind of expecting. Torpedoes, direct front. That didn't sound good. There goes the Hipper. I have AP loaded, which might take... So high I might die. Yeah, that's good for us. I'll swap to the HE again. Looks like our gearing's gonna go down. Too bad. I don't know how I can win this game. It's gonna be very hard. I have to push somewhere. but we're pushing into a crossfire. I think we just lose. Heals up. There's a Jutland. Hope for a good hit there. And then turn for the Guden, maybe? 6? Okay. That might allow the gearing to beat him. Not sure why our gearing's not shooting him, but...
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
We have help. We have help. We have some help. That's the key here.
The ship is on fire.
Got an angle potentially to the wow, 10k from his front guns only, and we didn't do any damage. Feels bad. Okay, our defensive fire is at least up. Can we dodge most of this? Yep. Should be using a heal though. We're shooting down a lot of planes, but Ikaga still got his strike through, which is a little unfortunate.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
I hope I dodge those. I do. Good. Finally, we get a good hit. That's the thing about a 40-second reload, right? It's long time before you get to do anything again. We have to try and dodge the torps here, so I guess we're turning like this. No defensive fire this time. I did not kill him. Feels bad. Feels bad, man. We just kind of didn't have a team. And that happens a lot as a Battleship player. Your teams are bad and you don't have battle impact, you know, outside of doing damage. So you're going to lose a lot of games that, you know, you'll get good damage and all that stuff. But utility is not something that a Vermont brings to the table. I'm not sure what I'd do differently. Maybe I push a little more aggressive out of sea instead of waiting here, but realistically, the way this game went, it was always going to be a loss, I think. I don't know. Our team just lost so quickly on the other side of the map. It happens. Alright, so nearly 140k. It's not a bad game. Not the best, and yeah, as we can see, our teammates were not quite up to par. At least if we want to win games. As far as the build goes, this is what it looks like. Gunfeeder on the American Special Commanders here is so nice. It's just an amazing skill to have. You saw how much damage we did to the DD. That only works when they're broadside at closer ranges. As soon as they're a little bit more angled or longer ranges where you have more plunging fire, you're going to be hitting a lot of modules on top of the ship, and you're not really going to be dealing much damage at all. So then you want to be switching to AP. But in those close range situations against DDs, it's quite nice to have Gunfeeder to swap to. I already talked about Brisk, and yeah, other than that, pretty standard build. Thanks to the updated ballistics, where it's a bit floatier shells, I'm actually not taking artillery plotting room. And it's because it's just really hard to use the extra range. It's really difficult now. 23, you have a spotter plane, it's more than enough range. We're definitely wanting extra accuracy though, since even with extra reload here, it's still a really long reload. So we may as well invest in making each shot count. Steering Gears Mod 1 is a very fun skill to have. The extra acceleration, notice there's no propulsion mod, is so good that they took out propulsion mod. So with steering gears and this buffed acceleration, you're actually quite maneuverable, as you saw in this game. We're dodging torps reasonably well, maneuvering, trying to angle, all that stuff. You could take damage control system, but I'm offsetting the lack of damage control system in the upgrades there by this signal specifically. and using basic survivability. They're all percentage based, so you get diminishing returns as you take more of these three. So I try to take 2 out of 3, if you're wondering, between damage control system, the fire flag, and whoops, wrong button, and basic survivability. That where I think I'm getting good value out of these anti-fire skills, but I'm not overcommitted into it, and I think having the extra maneuverability is quite nice to have. But let's jump into the next one. I am using, as you saw, some economic boosters. It's quite nice at tier 10 to use some of them to not lose a bunch of credits on a bad game, for example. If you have good games, it's always nice to collect a few more commander XP points or free XP. I'm not using the normal XP modifier, though, you notice, because there's no point in buffing the amount of just standard ship XP I get on a tier 10. Even if we do get up to the super ship for the Vermont line, I have no idea what that's going to look like. I'm sure I'm going to have enough XP on it eventually, because I do play this ship reasonably often. We did get an announcement a little while ago that this ship will be getting a unique upgrade or a legendary mod. I don't know what it is yet at the time of filming. We just know that it's coming in the future, which has me a little bit concerned, since I think Vermont is a little bit overtuned right now. Specifically the concealment and overmatch, that interaction. So I'm worried about what that upgrade is going to do. Obviously, Wargaming wants it to be something worth grinding for. So they're going to make it good, I would assume. That's the whole point, right, of getting people to engage with the Research Bureau. So then, if it's going to be a bit of a buff, the ship, I don't know. It seems like a lot. So I'm just concerned. Just a little concerned. Going forward, we have some super ships in this one. Super carrier. That's spooky. So, given that it's... how do I play this? I think I have to go to the flank, even though that's just asking for the carrier to target me, because I'll be alone. Battleship alone, right? We do have some defensive fires that we can use. I don't know. We'll see what the flank does. Oftentimes, it can pay off to go to the flank. That way, you're getting some value and cross shots on the ACAP here, for example. But I don't really want to leave myself as a sitting duck for the carrier. That's not always the most enjoyable thing. And even though Vermont does have good AA and it's got this awesome defensive fire consumable, it's still not enough to stop a tier 10 carrier. So it's not going to stop a super carrier. I think the Kaga was getting strikes through me even last game, so that's a tier 8 carrier even. So it's good, but you can't rely on it 100%. Okay, we got the Edgar coming in. I will definitely take a shot at that. Because Overmatch, big Citadel there. I tried to lead it quite a lot in front of him because he's fast, it's pretty far away. Didn't quite lead it enough, too bad. So, still 5k. The key here is going to be playing a reasonably safe, I think, because you can see how, well, the Ohio's going this way, but Annapolis, Johan, Puerto Rico, like, there's a lot of stuff coming here. Edgar's already here, GK's here. So it's one of those things where you look at the minimap early to get a bit better idea of what the enemy team is going to do. Range mod Puerto Rico? You're just sitting there? All out. That's pretty decent, Clump. Let's see what we do. Only one. Only one. Not bad, but only one. So yeah, that's something I'm always looking at on the minimap too. Like last game, we pushed aggressively because we saw that a lot of their team was on the opposite flank. Or pushed a little more aggressively, I guess. This game, there's so many of them here that we have to play a little more passive. I might shoot at this Unicum, we'll see. A lot of stuff is angled down here, as you can see, that it's always good to help a DD in their engagement. Puerto Rico going broadside, maybe? We certainly have some overmatch. I'm not leading enough. I don't think I'm leading enough. It's a problem right now. Again, it's floaty shell arcs at range. Maybe I've been playing too much Satsuma. That ship's it's so convenient, man. Click a button, no dispersion to deal with. Great arcs. It's kind of ridiculous. Alright, can we do something to this Edgar? I see the Johan, but he's angling in. Alright, game. Please. I'm trying to hit him like right here. Oh. Well, we hit one where I was aiming. So, Citadel. Now, of course, Edgar, Minotaur, they do have a super heal. They can get through, you know, taking Citadels. But it's one of those things where the more you hit the Citadel, it's like I was talking about in the Duncan video. Super heals don't take kindly to big hits like that with unhealable damage. Or less healable damage, I should say. Puerto Rico. Give that shot a go. The GK is coming up. So you notice how our team's doing, you know, they should be winning this flank. Got 11k there. They should be winning this flank. The enemy team is coming here. What our goal here is simply to stay alive on the flank. I'll probably take a line even up to the A line, because the enemy team has to push here and has to push through. So that's what we're going to try and, you know, prevent slash, you know, kill them as they try that. Perhaps a waste of the spotter plane. Oh, Unicum. It's not always worth swapping to the HE. He stopped. That means I miss. Not always worth swapping to the HE though. Our Z44 needs to get back like yesterday. See, this is the thing you also need to do, not only in battleships, cruisers, but DDs. You need to recognize where the enemy team is strong. Play safe. So we're going to turn our turrets now. This is why we want turret traverse instead of range on our ship. We have spotter plane for range. We don't need more range. There's a lot more opportunities where turret traverse will help us get our turrets online a little quicker. GK looks like he's going broadside, so we'll try and hit him. Remembering to lead a lot because, you know, it's 15 kilometers, but these are floatier shells. Good. Decent hit. So we're not going to run away at full speed either, is the thing. We got HP. Our Guden's taken some pain. This is a hard thing to balance, actually. When you're the battleship kiting away and your cruiser's taking all the focus fire, which is good play by the enemy team. Like, that's what they should be doing. How do you as a battleship player force them to focus on you? Well, you play closer, right? You let your cruiser... Oh, is he taking a torp there? Yep. I'm gonna wait for him to do his turn. Alright, we should get the Unicum there. I always want to wait for a predictable turn there. But yeah, I'm going, and then we get him. So I'm going to try and play a little bit, you know, closer to the enemy team to hopefully get them to shoot me instead of my cruiser. Although our Guden's, you know, pretty alive, so he's doing fine. But that's something that's very difficult, because if you play too close, they suddenly all shoot you and you get bursted down really quickly. There's like, what, 6 ships here? 5 ships here? They can burst a Vermont down very quickly. Obviously, that, you know, they're giving a lot of broadside and dying quite quickly. Is that where we're shooting at? No, it is not. That's where we're shooting at. I mean, is he going to just sit there? That's the question. Is he just going to sit there? Because if he does, we should get him. Oh, his acceleration's so good, though. Last second, man. Old Vermont dev strikes him there, I think. I think Old Vermont does. But you see how their team is forced to push here? Our team is winning here. Oh, we have a Schlieffen coming mid, actually, which is hilarious. But they're stuck in a crossfire. This happens on a lot of maps where, you know, Two Brothers is a little more extreme example, but enemy teams can get caught in just a quarter of the map. It's important if you're on the where they would push that you don't play too aggressive and die. Because if the enemy is allowed to push out of that massive crossfire, then, well, then they're just kiting your team who's pushing here and they're going to win. Like, they've already killed our Schlieffen. So it's important to not give up that crossfire too easily. Let's see, did I lead that high enough? The aiming system does not like it when people turn. So even though I aimed that high, and I think high enough to hit him, it wasn't good enough because the aiming system locks on to ships in a certain way. And the aiming system is only good enough to predict where people will go in a straight line. That's it. So any sort of rudder movement like that, especially turning away, shells just land short all the time. So we call it, you know, you can call it a bug, but in a cruiser, you'll see me do this all the time. If I'm broadside to someone and I'm turning away, it's like, well, I know their shells are going to land short because of the aiming system struggling with that. I didn't need to shoot that. So in this game, I didn't get a lot of damage this game, but I think I played my role well. I made it impossible for them to push, right? They just could not push through here. You know, we're up in B2. So as far as like the strategy goes in this game, I think we did a good job. The problem is if you're wanting to, you know, chase some damage numbers, the way I played was too passive. I think we can all agree on that. Now then, I'm hoping the carrier gets spotted, if I'm honest. We'll use our spotter for the Annapolis in a little bit here. It's about to come back up. But you'll notice we actually weren't focused by the carrier at all out here. Maybe that's because the Guden was with me, so Vermont plus Guden isn't something that a carrier wants to strike. But, I don't know, it went alright. Let's see what we get here. I think it's possible we didn't have the best RNG on our salvos this game either. I don't necessarily always want to blame RNG, but yeah, like that was not great dispersion. You know, all right, up to 100 though, so that's good. That Annapolis should go down.
Our victory is in sight.
I'm kind of just looking for the carrier, to be honest, or the GK. The Annapolis is going behind this island for me, so can't really go after him. Let's shoot here-ish. Against German battleships like the Kurfürst, you can definitely just aim for superstructures because they're so massive and they take so much damage. That's kind of the sad part about playing a German battleship. You angle and it tends to not matter too much, at least at closer ranges. There we kind of missed a little bit. He turned, which was smart. Now we wait for our salvo. It's likely, though, that our teammates killed the Eagle. So we're not going to get the carrier kill, unfortunately. Yeah. Nope, not for us. Not for us to collect. But again, GK, Valon, I think we did okay this game. Not huge damage games. What is... Look at it, like my back... What is this dispersion, man? It's so bad. Am I not locked on? Weird. Okay. Normally you're going to get better dispersion than those couple salvos when I was focusing on it. 106k, it's fine. We didn't do particularly well on the team score side, but wow, this Edgar actually had an insane game. Any game over 3k base is pretty nuts. So yeah, we'll play to him. There we go. And their team kind of melted, I guess, to the Edgar. So bit of a blow, that one. But Vermont's a great battleship. Again, I'm concerned about this concealment plus overmatch. Makes it very tough to deal with for cruisers. And the upcoming legendary mod, unique upgrade, could push it over the top of being OP. But Vermont's great. If you're grinding it, I think the grind has gotten better with the buffs that happened to this line. But the tier 10 is still definitely the best ship to have in the line. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.